You seem like you get ready to fly a plane with that headset on. So let's go.
If you know me, you know that I love anything journaling related. So, of course, I'm going to have a store where I offer journals, notebooks, and planners. The notebooks is just line notebooks just to motivate others to journal more and do things for their mental health. And then I have the journals. I offer it in Spanish and in English. And it's just the three things that are important to me: something that you're grateful for, something that you're proud of, something that you dream of, and something that you pray for. Something simple but effective. And then the planner, I say, is just like having a conversation with yourself all month long. You plan out how the month is going to go, then what you track during the week, the day, and then at the end, you have what makes you happy, what you need to improve, and notes to yourself. So, yeah, you can find that at more at butterflydreams.co. That is butterflydreams.co. And for first time customers, I have a 15% off using coupon first purchase. Hello and welcome to Life with Francy Podcast, where you will find talks about mental health, life, business, anything fun. It just depends on the episode and depends on the guest. I love to bring a more positive energy and build a community where we're supporting one another. Thank you for being here. Hope you enjoy this episode. Now, let's get the show started. Today's conversation was thanks to Podmatch, an amazing community for podcast hosts and podcast guests to do amazing collaboration like this one. They offer tools, resources, and a lot more. So you have to check it out. You can find that and more in the description of the episode. And on today's episode, we will have the pleasure to get to know Benjamin Brown, who is a sales expert, author, and a father of two young children. So today we will be have conversations about sales, small businesses, personal development, just anything to keep you motivated. I am excited to start this conversation. Let's welcome Benjamin to the show. Tell us, what is life with you?
I'm so glad to be your co-pilot as we take off in this plane and learn people and their goals to learn more about sales. So hopefully we'll cover a couple of tips to help people to make more money today because that's what sales is all about, communication. Good to meet you, Francine.
Nice
So
to
how do I
meet
pronounce it?
you.
Franceline?
Franceline, yes.
Franceline. There we
But I
go.
go by Francie.
Francie?
Like when
Okay, we'll do
somebody calls me
Francie.
my real name, I'm like, who's that? That's a
Ca-
pretty name, but who's
ca-
that?
Captain Francie. I like it.
So yeah, tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, I started in sales. I left the Marine Corps in 95 and got into the sales world through the gym business, selling sales. Got picked up the bug in sales. Been doing it ever since. Run three businesses, two children, divorced, father of two. Doing the school thing, everything like that, but a lot of coaching. And I've worked with up to $50 million companies, building sales teams, hiring salespeople, also mentoring young men coming out of military, out of bad divorces, things of that nature, which I always do. So the main thing about sales is not only somebody that can do it, but can teach it. And I absolutely love teaching it when finally somebody can get it down because it's a skill that can pay the bills for the rest of your life.
Heck yeah. So what can you teach us about sales?
Sales, and I go this route and I always kind of figure out, what do you think a purpose of a sale is, Franks? What is
To
the
obtain a
purpose of a
product or a
sale?
service? No? Help a
Again,
need?
so the purpose of a sale is to get someone to move. You had children, when they asked you to pick them up, pick them up, pick them up, that's close. That's a closing technique. And we've been born to sell. So when they ask you to pick them up, it has nothing to do with money, has nothing to do with a product or service. That's a close, that's a sale. So dating is a sale. Look at me, ask me, can we go somewhere? Can we do all these things? So it's movement, asking you to do something. So when you open your phone up, whether it asks swipe left, swipe right, click on this, give me your email address, it's the beginning of the sales process with each and every one of them. You go to Amazon, you click on something, it follows you to Facebook. Click on here, click on there. Once you click on, they got it, and then they follow you until normally it takes 30 impressions for somebody to actually make a decision to buy. And so that's why they keep it in front of you as much as possible. And you've sometimes most of the people wind up buying. But those are all sales things. So most of the time when people say they're entrepreneurs, the first thing you need to know how to do is sell, right? So what that means is that you can actually get your product out there without any of the tools. If I took your computer and closed your computer and closed your phone, could you sell your items? How would you do it? Normally it would be what? Face to face, mouth to mouth.
Mhm.
That's the way sales have been done since Roman times. But every decade, there's a new tool: fax machine, radio, TV, phone. Now there's cell phone. Now there's TV. Now there's apps like TikTok, Instagram. These are all just tools, but you still need to know how to sell. And that's why people depend on only looking for low hanging fruit. How can I do this the easiest? Because we're naturally lazy as humans, without the less effort and less rejection that I can get that hurts my personal brand, right? But
Mhm.
rejection is part of sales. So most of the time, teaching sales is teaching people confidence, because 80% of sales is confidence. So if you're confident enough, you could pretty much sell anything if you believe it, you like it, or love it, right? A
Mhm.
homeless person that on the corner, how much do they normally make if they have a good sound mind and in a good community on a good corner? Now, we're only a couple steps away from being homeless ourselves. Illness, tragedy in the family, national disaster. We could lose it all tomorrow and be on that street. So it's no different between them and us. But how much does a homeless person, if they know what they're doing, can pull down on a regular day on a regular street corner? Do you know?
I have no idea.
It's normally between $300 to $700 per day.
Mm.
Now, when they sell you that product, which is them being on the corner asking for money, which is actually a sale, what did the person that gives them the money gets in return physically in their hand? What do they get?
What do you
What?
mean, the money?
I give a homeless person money? What do I get in return in my hand back? Do I get a product or service? What do I get back?
Just the gratitude of doing something
Nothing.
nice? Yeah.
I get nothing, right? Nothing. I get nothing in return. Nothing tangible. So a homeless person kicks most entrepreneurs' butt. That's why you don't see them out there all the time, because they don't need it, because they don't have the overhead that we have. But anybody entrepreneur normally has a mortgage, electric, cable. They're pushing all the stuff. They're not making $300, $700 a day. What is the difference between a homeless person and an entrepreneur? Why is the homeless person making $300, $700 a day and the entrepreneur is not?
Don't
Can you
know.
tell me?
No, no,
The
sir.
homeless, the one of the critical components of being a great salesperson is that you need to be focused. That homeless person is focused, doesn't care what they look like, what they smell like. They don't care what their family think about them, what their kids. They don't think about. It's all about them getting what they need or want. It's either shelter, food, alcohol, or drugs. They're focused primarily on what they want. They don't care about all the other things. You take an entrepreneur. I got to get a website. I got to do this. I got to go to my Instagram. I got to buy the right computer. I got to get a camera. I got to make sure I look right. I got to, oh, my
I see
website.
your point. It's just your example is throwing me off so bad. But I see your point now. Okay, I get it. I'm with you. It's a hard example to
So if
go.
you are homeless, you will sell. You have nothing to focus on but going to get the money
Yeah.
because you're on the street. When you have the comfort of living in a house and starting an entrepreneur, most of the time it's a hobby. It's not a job. And people try to get it done that way and they don't understand. They don't have the focus skill set. So that's why they don't make the money. That's why 95, what is 80% of businesses don't make it past 5 years. A number of things, bankruptcy, family issues, all this type of deal,
Mhm.
but mainly because they are not focused on the sale. They're focused on marketing. They're focused on growing the product, building the product, working with the product. That's why inventors are not good at sales. They're good at inventing things, but they're not good at selling it, right? So sales is a skill, just like a plumber and a carpenter. So when you have that skill, you can actually replace it with a product or service and go out there. So that's why a homeless person are one of the best salespeople in the United States, because They go out there and kill it every day. They make their money. They go sit under the tree. You still stressing about your rent. They living good.
Hmm. Yeah, I can see it because even just right now, I'm thinking about myself of like the people that work on their social media and stuff. When I was living by myself, I was more on social media. I was more active. I had the podcast covered for 2 or 3 months. Now I'm living with 7 people. That's a little bit harder. So I'm still focusing on the same thing, but I'm not putting in the time and the effort that it takes to get to where I want to go. So I'm just going at a slower pace. So yeah, I get that. I get that now. I see you. So why is it important to learn about sales?
Makes your life a whole lot easier because my statement is sales is simple, but it's not easy. It's all around us. So the thing about being in Western civilization, your muscle for sales atrophies because their goal is to go to school, get your diploma, go to college, get a job, and then whatever you want in life, you earn it. You don't ask for it. You go to Puerto Rico, you go to the market, you go to third world countries, people are in there doing what? Selling. There's no prices. You can negotiate everything, right? You don't suppose to in the United States. You're taught if you don't afford it, you don't buy it. The only thing you
Hmm.
negotiate is a car and a house. You can go down to JC Penney's and negotiate that refrigerator or Home Depot. Most people just don't know it. They just go
Just
out and
don't do
buy it.
it. Just I'm the type of person you tell me it's $20, I'm gonna give you $20. Now you got my mama where she comes in a different language. She comes to the United States and have me negotiating at a thrift store when they say you can't negotiate. So it's two different kind of people.
You can negotiate. Everything is negotiable. Everything is negotiable. You go to the end of the flea market or end of a yard sale, they still got stuff out there. They want it for 15. You come back at 6 o'clock, you know you can get it probably for 5. They don't want to put it back in the house. Everything is negotiable. Everything. So that's how we get in relationships. You negotiate. What are you doing Saturday? I don't know what you doing Saturday. I'd like to take you out. I don't know. I'm a good guy. I got to sell the fact I'm a good guy. I'm going to take you here to show you the value that I can provide. And I'm a nice person. Just now, I'll open the door for you. There's certain things I have to do in order to sell myself differently than anyone else. It basically trust factor for women, meaning that things, attractiveness, cleanliness, all these type of things I have to go through
Hmm.
to show myself that I am that type of person that you could spend time with. I'm asking for your time. I'm selling your time. When you sell a book, you're selling your deal. But that book is just like a date. That book is 300 pages. It's going to take 6 hours to read. I'm asking you to spend 6 hours of a story that I'm telling you. I'm asking for your time for $39 and 6 hours of your time. That's a big want, right?
Yeah. I didn't think about it that way. And books. Can you talk about your books?
Well, my book is Master Your Art of Closing the Sale. I've written it back in 2016. It's actually an easy way, very thin because sales is simple, but it's not easy. Every step has 10 steps, but not every sale needs all 10. So if you know all the 10 steps, you can customize it towards your business and you could generate a sales process, which everybody needs, a sales process that's repeatable and replicable for other people as you grow your company. So if you don't have that, most people are just winging it based on excitement, talent, or just trying to get to the presentation and just let the presentation sell them. And that doesn't work, and there's no way to get feedback. So you might be successful, but you're not really selling.
Hmm. How have sales changed through the years?
It really hasn't. It's just the tools that you have. One of the biggest changes that happened in evolution was actually the mark of the telephone, right? Where you be able to call many people instead of going door to door, right? Fax machines changed because I didn't no longer have to, I could send you something more in writing to you right away, which saves time. So the communication between sales is smaller. So now in the last 30 years, I could send out 10,000 emails in one day. and I could play the numbers game based on that. I could never do that beforehand. There's no way I could reach that masses. Now I have the feasibility of being on a podcast with someone in Kansas that has a beach in the background and looks like she's a pilot of a 747. I couldn't do that.
You're hilarious.
But
Yeah, it's
I
true.
feel safe on
It's
this
true.
ride. I'm looking for the airbags just in case things happen. You'll let me know if we get some
Hey, when you
turbulence.
have 3 dogs and 7 people living with you, you need this big headphones. Because just earlier, my dogs went crazy on one of the interviews, and when
Yes.
I finished it, I was like, "Did you hear my dogs?" Because I felt like they were right by the door. He's like, "Nope, no, I didn't hear it, so that's
Just
why the
remember to
headphones are
take it
here."
off before you take a shower.
Yeah.
You wear it.
Is there anything else that we forgot to mention about your story?
No, my story is a lot of ups and downs, a lot of success and a lot of failures. And entrepreneurship is really not about the product or service, it's about overcoming failures. Every successful entrepreneur has went through failures, and most people quit. Some people quit right before you become successful. It takes work. It's not easy, and people just need to overcome that and realize what it is. If you have the worst thing you can ever have in entrepreneurship is early success.
Mm,
It will crush you down the line. It will crush you. You will go back to work. You go back to
yeah.
work for someone else because of that factor. It's a growing process. You only appreciate what you've earned, and you only earn through the pain that you actually
Mm.
accumulate. And if nobody runs away from the pain and never see it, you never accomplish anything.
Man, I needed that talk right there because I'm in a weird stage where like I love my podcast and I want to keep going, but like you feel with a podcast like you're talking to yourself, yeah, and you pretty much are at the beginning. Besides your friends here and there, like, oh, I checked it out and things like that. So it's just like you have to find your why. You have to have that motivation that keeps you going. That no matter what's going on, and having, like you said, the worst thing that could happen is like being successful right from the beginning. Because if you're not like mentally there, or and even financially, because what happens when they win the lottery? They
Well,
go broke.
you look at professional sports, the benefit of children,
Yeah.
teenagers going into very early 20s making 40, $50 million a year and knowing that they're only going to be able to do that for like maybe four, what's the NBA lifespan? 4 years compared to the other 60 that you have to live. There's
Hmm.
no way. I mean, there's very few chances of that you being able to handle all that without the right proper guidance in that type of deal. So that's early success. They don't even know what it is. It's just thrust upon them based upon their physical ability. And so very few. You're never going to make that type of check ever again molly in your life, and so they don't know how to take advantage of it, and that's why most of them are, broken in 5 years after they finish the deal. They don't know how to make, and then people coming at them all the time. I know they're coming after you for the headset, but I'm just saying it's all good. You selling the headset, but we
uh,
keep going with that.
where can my listeners find you?
If they if they would like, I have a small group that I specialize in working with individuals. The starting process of that is meetwithbenjamin.com. And on there, you can click on that and you can schedule a 30-minute session to figure out and qualify if you do qualify for the program for me to work with you. But you have to like or love your product, and you have to have a feasibility to grow so your clients pay for me, not you.
I love that.
Yes.
What are you grateful for?
I wake up every day. It's all ups and downs. You have a lot of family member, but I look at people today where everybody is individuals living in apartments, and they're making more and more apartments, and people don't have family reunions anymore, and all kind of things like that. And it's just sad that a lot of people. I have a family reunion this summer. Be grateful to have the family that you have. Friends come and go, but family you can't pick them, like the headset you got on. And so anyway, you just keep going like that, and just gratitude, the fact of, first of all, you're healthy and you have your mind is the most powerful thing that you can have. Utilize it, don't waste it, because these years go by pretty quick.
Yes, they do. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you on my podcast.
Awesome. I love it. So if you like it, love it, sell it. What was the one thing that you learned from this podcast today?
Oh man, just like treat it more of a regular thing. Cause I even for me as a business, now that I have my journals and stuff, I make it all complicated. But I see you. I see
Good. Good.
you. So anyway, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Life with Francy podcast. You know, you can find it in all major platforms as well as my YouTube channel. You know the drill. Help this girl out. Like and subscribe. And have a blessed day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.